I mean, the civic nationalism just doesn't really make any sense because when you really press these guys, okay, but what is that? Well, it's a feeling, and it gets into the same realm as being woke. Well, a woman is someone who identifies as a woman, just like your guy Vivek, not your guy, but still, American is
It's
just,
an idea.
It's an idea, exactly. And, the whole hierarchy thing, like it's at the point now, like I don't care about the rest of the world, but obviously the people in charge of a country should be the countrymen, the people who are the stock of that nation. English should be ruling England. Americans should be ruling American. If you went to any other country like Israel, obviously it's going to be run for, it's going to have all of the laws to benefit Jewish people. Same with Islam, same with Japan. This is like the most natural thing in the world. And the fact that we've like, I don't know, don't get me wrong, there's subversion and all the rest of it, but we've convinced ourselves that no, we need to be the bottom of the food chain. Oh, it's insane. It is insane.
Yes. It's the inversion of natural hierarchy. The straight white man is seen as the central villain of modernity, when in reality, the straight white man is the superior. He is the lion in the jungle. The thing that you just said about wokeism, the civic nationalist position, it is woke. And the civic nationalists, they'll call like right wing the woke right. They only call it the woke right because it's identity politics. But as Kevin Deanna recently famously said, all politics is identity politics because it's an axiomatic starting place. Everything is secondary to the core identity, right? It springs from the people. And that's why we're identitarian first. We're not fascists. We're not communists. We're not capitalists. I'm up for whatever, but you have to secure the interest of the core demographic before anything else. Everything else, anything is a secondary matter. So I'll start there. Look at the Scandinavian countries. They're basically socialists. They're doing pretty good. There's some problems there. I mean, nothing's perfect, but I'm open to socialism as a potential future, economic system on some level. Perhaps I'm more of like a capitalist kind of minded person, but again, that's just to say that everything is secondary. I want to secure the interests of my people first, because without that, we don't have anything left. All of these things that we're trying to preserve come from white people.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, I'm not a socialist, but it's the same in the US, it's the same in the UK. White people are literally in the UK anyway, white people are the only group which pays in more than it takes out.
Yep.
Right? I think it's mostly you guys, and there's like the Asian community as well, maybe.
Yep.
But so like by that metric, socialism would work, right? Because there's more in the pot than you're taking out. Socialism doesn't work when you have all of these parasites leeching off society, which is what it is. We have this parasitic relationship. The obvious one, which everyone can agree with now, is Israel, but it doesn't stop there. Like you can see it clear as day. It's present in the other groups as well.
Yeah, even in theory, communism on a small level would work, because a tribe is basically communism, right? There's probably one guy or a couple guys that are like the alphas. They lead the younger men, they leave them to go hunt and and they bring back food that they work for, and then they divvy it up. They own the means of production, which would just be hunting and foraging, and then they distribute it equally or not so equally amongst the people so that their tribe can flourish. In theory, that stuff works. It's just unfortunately not how it works when you're controlling, that is communism in downstream from natural hierarchy. That's what that is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people are waking up. They're waking up quick. And, liberalism, I mean, I don't know how people can still back this. It's failed on all fronts. It's, like there's no birth rate. Like the liberals in the UK, especially, it's mostly made up of women. And yet these are the biggest victims to all of the policies that they push, open borders. It's insane. It's insane. But like I say, the white nationalist is waking up. What would you say to someone who agrees with everything you say? They share all your content. However, when it comes to their personal life, they stay quiet. They're too scared to act. What are your thoughts on them?
I'm going to reinforce what Thomas Sowell said. If you're somebody who understands the issues, but you're not getting involved, or making any form of sacrifice, then your opinion doesn't mean anything yet. So I think that would be point number one. And point number two, the number one rite of passage as a man is to take action. That's a direct quote from Thomas Sowell. I'm not sure if he's the original person who said that, but I really like that. And I think that that needs to be the mindset that young white men adopt into their personal lives. Because a lot of people would say, and I have hesitance because I'm a young man myself and I'm still learning and I don't have authority. I'm just a person giving you my opinion as honestly as I can. But just as equally as all these other young white men looking around at these circumstances that we have been dealt and realizing that times are quite dire and we are not being given any form of guidance by older people at all. We have been left out to dry. And then people will say, well, just focus on yourself. You're an individual, right? Just focus on yourself. And, in the pursuit of that individual focus, you're just going to be reinforcing all the problems that we're continuing to see, which is white people fragmenting, going off to college, women getting, their brains getting infiltrated and penetrated by Marxism and multiculturalism, and the young white men getting poisoned either by college rhetoric or just focus on myself and my own career and my 401k, which I probably won't get a return on because I'm going to be a minority geriatric person, probably getting abused in an old person's home by like a Haitian person at some point in the future. It's going to look really dark. And so what does that really mean? People can say I'm extrapolating into all these negative points, but I don't think so. I think that we're going to see more and more of that happening if white people don't take action now. I think as a young white man, the number one thing you should do is get involved in pro-white advocacy. Why not? Why not be part of this? Because otherwise, society's over. It's going to become non-white. It's not going to be the UK anymore. It's not going to be America anymore. Everything's going to be gay. Everybody's fat. Everybody's sick. Everybody's miserable. Why not just join this thing? Jump on this little river raft that we have. We're building it right now. We're building it as we row. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. But if it works, you're going to be getting in on something that's going to change history. Why not just go for it? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, yeah, you can just be an individual. And, me and my brother, we could have done that. We could have done a lot of things. We could have gone off and been really good individuals. But it's like, fuck that. Our people are suffering. That was the biggest awakening for me, is when I really went from being a pure libertarian individual to realizing that I'm of a bloodline that is suffering. Like, I'd say the past 6 months or a year, that's something that really got through to me, is I'm part of something that is under attack. I have an obligation to defend that in whatever way I can. So to whatever young white man out there that's listening, how do I get involved? Just what is within your sphere of influence? How can you help your fellow person who agrees with this? Join an organization. Be smart. Don't instigate. Don't go around and act like a black person. Don't get yourself in trouble, right? But get involved in this, because this is not, this encompasses you and your life experience, but it also encompasses your future as well, and your children as well.
Yeah, and if you're not vocal, you will either have to be, because things will get worse. They will. You'll either have to be vocal, you'll be forced to be vocal, or you will get lost. You will not survive, essentially. And you talk about liberalism and how it failed. What is liberalism? It's essentially an emphasis on individual liberties, on rights. What are rights? And go read the 88 Precepts. David Lane talks about this in the 88 Precepts. We think that rights are axiomatic starting places. We just have them. They're bestowed on us by God. They are not. Like I think it's Precept 18. Go look it up. It basically states the deer being hunted by the lion has no right to life, but it can purchase life through obedience to instinct, the instinct of vigilance and flight and getting away. In the same way, humans do not have rights. So like the right to liberty, the pursuit of happiness, these aren't rights. They're not axiomatic starting places. They're purchases. These purchases can be made by an individual or by your family or by your tribe or by your ancestors, but they are purchases. And the only way that you can maintain and keep the value of these purchases is by obedience to natural law. And as soon as you start violating natural law, you lose these purchases. Therefore, you lose the rights. And we're seeing this in plain sight. So again, I think that we lose sight of the fact that we're still part of nature as human beings. And when we violate the laws of nature, we violate ourselves,
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly that. Like, and you got to think too, when it comes to every other group, they all understand in-group loyalty. How we got to this point, it doesn't really matter. Maybe it was subversion. Maybe it was, like liberalism, and we just took the wrong route ourselves. It doesn't matter. All of our ancestors knew what in-group loyalty was, right? And if you just think about it logically, what has already stood the test of time? It was everyone having their own sovereign countries. We've gone down the route, this experiment of mass migration, of multiculturalism. It is failing on all fronts. No one is happy. Even the cultures, the minorities coming in, they are not happy. So just from a logical point of view, the only thing which has shown results is the past. So yeah, it is one of them things. And I would say to people too, like, find people in your state, because these ideas are becoming the mainstream. Find people in your state, find people in your local town, just join together, at least become on good terms with each other, because we do need to start looking out for each other. And, things are going to go from bad to worse real quick. So we need to know who's on our side and who isn't. Not to instigate violence, of course. We wouldn't want that. But we need to start to get these things going. We need to start knowing, who thinks the same as us.
Yes, 100%.
Yep.
Where are we? So, I mean, I know one of the big things you guys push for is remigration. There's total remigration. Yeah. And I would say this is somewhat, I think it's more popular in the UK than it is the US. But, how is that received over there?
Well, we're going to make it popular over here.
Hello, guys. If you found value in that clip, could you please like, share, and subscribe? On top of that, if you haven't already, could you please follow the Spotify and could you please follow the Rumble? What I'll do, I'll leave links to everything in the description below. Due to the nature of what I talk about, I'm not sure how long this channel will last, but in the meantime, I'll keep having these chats. On top of that, if you enjoyed that clip, make sure you click right here to watch the full episode. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. All the best.